Well, it's officially September, which is, I think, insane. I feel like August has been such a crazy roller coaster of a month. So many different emotions, so many different things happening, and I wanted to give you guys a little update as well as talk about the rest of the books that I read in August. So my last video was telling you the books that I read in the first half of August, and now I will tell you about the rest of the books that I read in August. I read some more really wonderful books that I can't wait to tell you about. But this past month has been so wonderful and crazy. So basically, today is Leon's last day of working on his dissertation, and his dissertation is due tomorrow. For the past year, why I have been visiting him in England and why he's been in Bristol is because he is getting his master's degree in computer science. And he is done tomorrow. His last day is today, and I am just so proud of him, so proud of the work that he's put in. He's at the library right now working on finishing up his dissertation, and I am just truly so proud of everything that he's done, and being able to be there for him has been so wonderful, and just seeing him go through this journey. And yeah, so a lot of things are going to be happening, a lot of things are going to be changing over the next few months, but we are going to ride the waves as they come. And for me, I have been working a lot on editing my novel. So if you don't know, I have been writing a middle grade novel for about 3 years now. It has gone through many different changes. It has been such a wild experience, a lot of different emotions, a lot of different feelings of pride and hope and feelings of failure, and it's been such a crazy experience. But I'm so proud of how my story is looking right now. I have been sending it to multiple people to read, to give me feedback, and the feedback I have gotten has been extremely helpful and extremely encouraging, and I really am so proud of the work that I've put in. And so I feel like Leon and I are both at this very special stage in our careers where we're getting to the point that we kind of feel closer to our goals and to the next stage in our lives and the next stage in our careers, which is really exciting. And I hope one day for you guys to be able to read my book. I am also hoping to illustrate it as well. It's not going to be like an illustrated picture book because it's a novel, but I'm hoping to have some illustrations interspersed throughout there. And I have been working a lot on building up my portfolio in the past few weeks. I've really had kind of a mental shift on my career and really like thinking about, okay, this is where I'm at and where do I want to be and what do I have to do to get there. And I've been doing a lot of research into a lot of different things. I don't want to get too detailed into it, but I'm really, really excited about where I'm going with all of my work, and I've been really taking the time to think about my career and think about what I want to be doing, where I want to be going, the art I want to be making. And I have a lot of thoughts, and I think I'll save that for a separate vlog, but I just wanted to update you guys. I didn't film last week. It's been, I think, 2 weeks maybe since I've filmed now. I just wanted to give you a little explanation. I've been in full writing and editing and creation mode in my brain, and Leon has also just been so busy with his dissertation, and we've found it a little hard to stop working. He and I have both been working really hard, but it's really exciting, all for great things. I haven't been reading a ton. I have read, well, actually, I read a decent amount of books in the second half of the month. So the first 2 books, well, I also want to mention, we did go to Bath 2.5 weeks ago. We went to Bath, and I will be uploading a whole book haul and vlog of our day in Bath, but I did pick up 2 more of the Flower Fairy books by Cicely Mary Barker. I talked about her in my last video. I read her Flower Fairies of the Autumn, and I really wanted to get the other books in the series. I am finding it a little difficult to find the summer version of these books, but I will keep my eye out. And I read both of these. They were wonderful and beautiful and amazing. These poems and illustrations are so unbelievably captivating and absolutely beautiful. She is such a literary and artistic inspiration for me. I love the way that she uses her colors, her textures, and just the whimsy and magic in her illustrations. And the poems are so beautifully written, so clever and witty and whimsical, and everything that you would imagine a flower fairy poem to sound like. One of my favorites was the last poem, and it is the Song of the Christmas Tree Fairy. So I thought I would read that one out to you guys. The little Christmas tree was born and dwelt in open air. It did not guess how bright a dress someday its boughs would wear. Brown cones were all, it thought, a tall and grown-up fir would bear. O little fir, your forest home is far and far away, and here indoors these boughs of yours with colored balls are gay, with candlelight and tinsel bright, for this is Christmas Day. A dolly fairy stands on top till children sleep, then she, a live one now, from bough to bough, goes gliding silently. A magic sight this joyous night, O laden, sparkling tree. And look at that illustration. Is that not absolutely stunning? I love the star on her crown, and her dress is so beautiful, and I love the texture that the tree has. I also think my grandmothers had these types of ornaments on their trees, so it feels so nostalgic and beautiful. And I think that's what I love so much about these books, is they just feel like my childhood, and they feel so whimsical and nostalgic, and in my heart of hearts, I am a flower fairy. And that's why I love these so much. So highly, highly recommend checking them out, even though you're an adult. As I always say, adults deserve children's literature just as much as children do, because we were children once too, and we still are those children. But anyway, I talk about this all the time, so I really loved those. And the next book that I read, I finished it last night. It ripped my heart out, and that is The Red Pony by John Steinbeck. I have been loving John Steinbeck's work this year, especially because I read and fell in love with East of Eden, which is just one of the greatest, most beautifully, brilliantly crafted books I've ever read. And I have seen a lot of people recently been reading it on social media, so I'm so glad that so many people are reading it and loving it. I've mainly heard wonderful things from other people as well. So, The Red Pony. I bought this recently, and I was so excited to read it because I again heard great things about it, and oh my goodness. I have so much to say, but I also don't want to say a lot because this book is very short and it packs a massive punch, literally punch in the face, but in a great way. So I thought I would share my review with you to give you a little explanation without sharing too much. Steinbeck is a master of examining humanity through the intimate lens of a devoted storyteller. These stories are interconnected and follow the same characters, but each one explores different yet similar themes and has its own narrative arc. I thoroughly enjoyed the structure of these stories and how they fit together as a whole. The title story, The Red Pony, was, as usual for a work of Steinbeck's, breathtakingly written and unbearably heartbreaking. I was practically holding my breath while I read, hoping to stop the inevitable from happening. Whether it happened or not, I won't say. The brutal yet realistic nature of this story will stay with me and all of its readers forever. It's truly an unforgettable tale. The other stories were just as brilliant, with equally honest and quietly devastating commentary on life, family, and humanity as a whole. To be honest, I found parts of the book quite emotionally hard to read at times because of how certain animals were being treated. Those scenes were part of the main crux of the book's message, so I understand why they were there. They also serve to show the reader each character's personality and morals by their actions in those situations. This is where Steinbeck's work shines. Every word, action, and description feels intentional and important. He continues to amaze me. And he really does. I think that his work is so precise and thoughtful, and although there are elements of his books that are quite devastating and difficult to read about and difficult to write about, he writes about these things and humanity and life with such grace and beauty and hope, and I think his work is so inspiring, and I really can't recommend this book enough. I think that it's fantastic, although, like I said, a little difficult to read at times, but intentional in that way. So I really enjoyed this, and Steinbeck is continuing to be a favorite author of mine, so I can't wait to keep reading more and more and more of his work. The next book that I read was an audiobook, and that is Riding Freedom by Pam Munoz-Ryan. And this is a middle grade novel. It's quite short, and I listened to the audiobook, which I really enjoyed. Like I said, I've been working on a lot of illustrations recently, and I love listening to audiobooks while I illustrate. And something that I've been doing a lot recently is researching into middle grade literature, because that is the age group that I am writing my novel in and for. And I really wanted to kind of surround myself in the language and the structure of those types of stories to help inform my own writing and editing process. And I am a really big fan of Pam Munoz-Ryan's work. And I hadn't read this one before, and it sounded really wonderful, so I gave it a shot, and I really, really enjoyed it. Also, this book is illustrated by Brian Selznick, who is one of my favorite illustrators and writers, and I really want to get a copy of this book because although I was able to listen to the audiobook, I wasn't obviously able to see the illustrations, so I would really love to get my hands on a physical copy and look through his illustrations because I love his work so much. And he recently came out with a new book, Run Away With Me. I'm so glad that I was able to remember the title. It was almost not there. Run Away With Me. It's his first YA novel, and it is also illustrated, and that one I've been meaning to get my hands on a copy and read it. I'm so excited that he has come out with a new book, and it's really exciting that he is venturing into an older audience. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to mention that it's illustrated by Brian Selznick, and I really enjoyed it, so I will share all my thoughts with you. Riding Freedom is a touching and powerful story of hope, determination, and perseverance. This book is set in the mid-1800s and follows the life of a young orphan, Charlotte Parkhurst, who loves to care for the horses in the orphanage's stables. She dreams of one day training and riding them on a ranch of her own. The only problem is, as a girl in the mid-1800s, Charlotte is expected to live a very different sort of life, one without freedom. But Charlotte is clever. She finds a way to try and live the life she wants. Will she be able to make her dreams come true? You'll have to read it to find out. Charlotte's story is based on true events, which makes it all the more remarkable. Like The Red Pony, Riding Freedom is quite a short story, so I don't want to say too much, but I really enjoyed it. It was such, like I said in my review, a really remarkable and touching story, and I highly recommend checking it out if it sounds like something that would interest you. Like I always say about children's literature and middle grade, I think middle grade is the wonderful special genre that is perfect for every age group, every type of reader. I love middle grade, and I think you should give it a try if you haven't in a while. I think it's really special, and I think this book is also really special, and I'm so glad that I read it. The other book that I am currently reading, I think I have 21 minutes left of the audiobook, and it is a reread of a Katie Gamello book, who is my all-time favorite middle grade author. If I have to pick a favorite, she is the author I have read the most from ever, which I made a whole video about that, and I didn't realize she was my most read author, but she is. I think I've read 13 of her books, which she has, I think, 13 middle grade novels. She has some other chapter books and picture books as well, but I have read all of her novels. She's coming out with a new one, I think soon-ish, and I'm really excited about it. But anyway, I am currently reading and almost finished with listening to The Beatrice Prophecy, which is one of her more recent publications, and it's so unbelievably brilliant. And I won't say too much about it because I want to write a whole review for it and save all of my thoughts for maybe another video once I finish it. I admire her writing. I admire the way that she approaches narratives. I admire the way that she constructs stories and creates characters and describes her worlds. She is just such an unbelievable inspiration, and her work never ceases to take my breath away. If you are newer to reading middle grade as an adult, I really think that you can't go wrong with a Kate DiCamillo book, so I would maybe look into the different stories, because all of her books have the same charm and beauty, but they're all quite different from one another. So I would look into each one, see which one piques your interest, and really give that one a go, because I think she is absolutely fantastic, and I love her books so much, and it has been a joy to listen to The Beatrice Prophecy. It's my first time rereading it and listening to the audiobook, and I've really been enjoying it. The other book that I'm currently in the middle of, I haven't made a lot of progress with, that is Mary Oliver's Dreamwork. This is a collection of her poems, which I bought in London, which is one of my past videos, my recent videos, and I really haven't made much progress with this, but I want to make a bit more progress with it. So I will continue reading this into September. And then the other book I wanted to mention briefly is our book club pick for the Well-Read Book Club for September. So every month we read from a different genre. You can join for free. You can join our book club on Fable. And everyone voted for The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, which I have only read Giovanni's Room and If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin, and I loved and adored both of those books so much. So this will be my first foray into his nonfiction work, and I recently picked up this copy while we were in Bath, so this is a little sneak peek into my Bath book haul. But this has been on my TBR for ages. I've been meaning to read it for ages. This is a very short, I think, essay or collection of essays. It says, James Baldwin's impassioned plea to end the racial nightmare in America was a bestseller when it appeared in 1963, galvanizing a nation and giving voice to the emerging civil rights movement. Told in the form of two intensely personal letters, The Fire Next Time is at once a powerful evocation of Baldwin's early life in Harlem and an excoriating condemnation of the terrible legacy of racial injustice. And there's also a quote which is so powerful on the top, and it says, "We, the black and the white, deeply need each other here if we are really to become a nation." And I've heard absolutely beautiful, fantastic things about this book, and I can't wait to read what James Baldwin has to say on this topic. I think it's incredibly important, and he's such an unbelievable person and writer, and I love Giovanni's Room and If Beale Street Could Talk so much that I can't wait to hear what he has to say on these topics and these very, very important parts of life, and not just history but our present day. And I'm really looking forward to talking about this with everyone in the book club. I think it's going to make for a really great discussion. So those are our reading plans for the Well-Read Book Club in September. So I'm so glad that you guys voted for that one. And I also have to read The Silmarillion by Tolkien, because life has been so wild. I have been reading a lot of different things, and for the Game of Tomes book club, we are supposed to be reading, I think September is our last month to read The Silmarillion. We have 3 months to read it. I haven't read it in the first 2 months, if I'm being completely transparent. Just because life has been so crazy, I've been traveling a lot of stuff happened with me and my family in July. It's just been kind of crazy. But anyway, that's my little explanation. I will be reading The Silmarillion in September as well for the Game of Tomes book club. You can join for free as well. There's a link in the description, and you can join Emma and I. But yeah, so I don't know what my plans are, my reading plans are in September, but we will see how the month goes. I will take you along on that journey with me, and I just want to thank you so much for being here, being patient with me while I, work through all of my career things and figure life out. So anyway, thank you so much. I hope that you guys are doing really, really well. I'd love to hear how you're doing, what's going on with you. If you care to share anything you want to share, feel free to share. I would love to see how you guys are all doing, hear what you guys are up to. I would love to know what books you read in August. If you've read any of the ones that I mentioned, I would love to know. And I just hope you're having a fantastic start to September. So thank you so much for watching this video and for being here. It just means so much to me. I really can't express how much you guys mean to me. And just thank you for being here and subscribing and liking my videos and commenting, and all of it. All of your support means more than I will ever be able to express, and to say thank you. I can't say thank you enough. So I will see you soon in another video, and as always, happy reading.